Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. We got a special one for you today. We're reviewing The Last of Us Part 2, which is one of the more anticipated games of the year for good reason. The original Last of Us, it came out in 2013. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I'm not super into the more horrific side or the more, just like gut wrenching belly shredding side of video game storytelling, but I love Naughty Dog. I've loved Naughty Dog ever since I played the first Uncharted game, and I love The Last of Us. Honestly, I played that game the summer before I went off to go back to school again, and it was like just so perfect. It was just so perfect. It was so dark and so, like I said, gut wrenching. The story of that original game has got to stand the test of time as one of the greatest video game stories ever told. And The Last of Us 2 is no exception. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything for you in regards to story, because if you have a mind to play this game, you really, really do need to discover this story for yourself, especially if you're a fan of the first one, because there's some shocking things that happen, like even early on in the game. That's not a spoiler, right? That's more of like a getting your anticipation up. And, the gameplay portions, the gameplay aspects of the game have been improved, I would say. There's less of the puzzle solving, you jump on this crate and I'll carry you across the water type stuff. There's more mobility in the characters. For the most part, for the vast majority of this experience, you're going to be Ellie. It really is her story, and the stuff that Sony and Naughty Dog have done to kind of like tease us on it. So look at that; it's just so brutal. There's just so many things in this game. Like I'm not even showing the more wicked things that I had to see. The things that I saw. I've seen some things, man. I don't know what I'm doing. So, one of the aspects that I really do appreciate about this game is this kind of open world exploration thing they've introduced. Now, it's not like a huge open world type experience by any means. Most of the greatest moments of this game, like the first one, involved being in really narrow channeled areas and having to stalk around and, assassinate, infected and regular humans alike. The weapon handling is fantastic. Just because I'm watching it, like it's it's a lot of fun to shoot these guns. I mean, again, I'm not super into, like, especially in this day and age when everything is so violent anyway, like I'm not super into the ultra violence, but I mean, if you're gonna play it, this is like the one to play. Back to the open world discussion. They have this tendency to have medium-sized open world clusters that you kind of proceed through points that get you to the next medium or small size open world cluster. So it's not going to be like the big open world GTA style, experience. It's a weird reference for a game like this as GTA, but it's applicable. But I think that really does work with the experience. I can't help but think that with the new consoles coming, see, the funny thing is that the original Last of Us came out right at the end of that last generation of consoles, and the hardware, while it was impressive for PS3, the hardware really did show itself, and I can't help but think that about this game. And gorgeous as it is, like I didn't get to play it in 4K, I didn't get to play it on a PS4 Pro. But regardless, this world, I mean, it's fully realized. There's so much to see. There's so much plundering to do. Like the looting and the plundering has been cranked up to 10. And you're gonna miss portions of it just because you're on the run, man. You're constantly under the gun. But you'll see as she climbs up over this little wall here. Like this is one of the early zones. All of this footage is early on in the game because I didn't want to spoil anything. But this is Seattle, like, and you can basically explore the whole thing, but like I said, it's kind of like slightly open world, medium sized sections kind of chained together, that sort of thing. But again, it works. It works for this. Now, the story. The story is one of the all time, like, most gut wrenching, I keep saying gut wrenching experiences I've had playing a game in recent memory. Like, it is adult, it is serious, but not always. There's moments of levity. It is romantic, which maybe not many people who have been following press for this game, the early wind up for it, may have thought about. A scene like this, for instance, you know, Joel early on in the very, very opening scene, again, not a spoiler, teaches Ellie to play guitar, basically, or, you know, informs her that he's going to teach her to play guitar. So there's instances in the game where she'll pick up a guitar and you've actually got to play it using the touchpad on your PS controller. And it just turns into a song, and it just turns into a really intimate character moment. And it's a moment, this specific moment, it's one you might miss if you don't go into this specific music store early on in the game. You might miss this entire thing, but it informs so much about the game. And I wonder what I've missed. I wonder if I need to play it again to see what other things, just great little character moments that I may have missed. So all in all, this is an exceptional game. If you have a PlayStation 4, you have no reason not to, unless you have youngins. Then I understand. But otherwise, if you're an adult and you got a PS, play this game. Jeff Bowl Central gives The Last of Us Part 2 a perfect 10 out of 10. Oh, you had to see that coming. I didn't see this coming. I wish I had that. One more bullet. What? One more bullet. Hey, everybody, check this out. This is my latest novel, God's Body, Book 1, The Fall. It is also scary. It is also gut-wrenching. It is about giant God and giant Satan falling to earth and the aftermath that happens afterward. The human toll. It's you know, it's got comedic moments. It's comic booky. It's superhero-y occasionally. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in this book. And y'all can get it at Amazon.